So today, what we're going to do actually is take one of the techniques out of Yansu Kata. Got some strong techniques in it, and it teaches you the possibility of a lot of the two-hand techniques. The reality is, in the initial explosion of violence, you don't know what they're going to do. And if they're half smart, they're going to trick you into thinking you're going to do one thing, but they're going to do another. So generally speaking, they're either going to hit you or kick you or grab you. Okay, so it's one particular move out of Yansu. You don't know what they're going to do initially. And so this will allow you to address grabs on the wrist, to address grabs on the collar, to address grabs to the throat, and even to address strikes. What you find with different kata is the connection between various kata. So, for example, the initial move out of Pinan 2. Pinan 4, initial move out of Kanku, which also translates as this. And this, the initial, well, not the initial, but the two-hand moves out of Tensho. Okay, you also have in Yansu, you come back here and you have this two-hand move. Okay, so we're just going to look at that one thing today, but the reality is quite often a number of these katas start with a similar situation simply because of that initial situation where you have no idea what they're doing. The worst thing you can do is let them breach into your personal space, because once they do that, anything's possible. They come in here, he can headbutt. So he's breached in from range 1, range 2, range 3, and now he's at range 4 and he's grabbing and grappling. And if he doesn't know anything else, he's going to headbutt you and just try and double leg you. Everyone knows that. Everyone thinks they can double leg these days because UFC. Okay, so you don't want to allow people to breach the space. Now, the situation is sometimes there's nothing you can do and they're coming and you're prepared. What do? You have this, I don't know what they're going to do. So the two hands come up. So the two hands come up here. The two hands come up there. Why do they come up to there? Because I'm not going to come here and stay square. And as the punch or whatever comes, I don't want to stay square because I'm exposed for the next one. So the reason we turn to the side like that is now when the punch comes, I've moved off the target, okay? And then I continue. So Pinan 2, punch comes, there. Pinan 4, punch comes, the only difference is no open hand. Kanku, punch comes, they're like that. They're all very similar because it's a very realistic idea to think that, and I'm just going to bring both hands up, give yourself a split second, and then continue on. Because once you have that, now I can come in and continue. If I want to get my head close, what does a boxer do when he's in trouble? He ties up and puts his head on, because now he's moved into range 4 out of the range 2. The old saying, 1 foot in front of the blade, you're in hell. 2 foot forward, you're in heaven again. That's the old Japanese. Here, I'm in trouble. Headbutts, elbows, punches, all kinds of stuff. Okay? Here, I'm not. And if I can get into here and even, look, I have that two-handed grip there.
I'm in big trouble.
He's in big trouble. Okay? So remember that the point of a lot of these kata, the initial movement with the hands coming up, even when you've got like Pinan 5, which starts here, 1, 2, like that, and comes back, it's a similar thing. He comes in, I'm moving off to the side once again. That initial similarity where the two hands coming up is a universal thing. It makes a lot of sense. And if you just take that one principle and connect the different kata, all two-handed movements, and they're all essentially variations of a single theme.
And that's that topic of induction and deduction,
yes,
of breaking the bunkai down of each kata.
Yes.
It's brilliant when you think about it.
Yeah, and coming to conclusions based on the possibilities of those two-hand movements. Okay, so we're just going to look at that one particular technique. So the kata starts 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I come back, hands come up, and I push out. Now there are variations to this. One variation is the hands come all the way up and push out. Another variation is the hands come to here and stay short. I don't like that. And they push out. Some people say that that's a spear hand strike to the side. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but there's not a lot of practicality in that, because if I'm here and two guys come in and I go, but what will work is if I need to break grips and I stop there, I'm not going to break the grips. Remember the beautiful soul size 3 main points. The waza no kankyugi no chosei chikara no kyojaku. So the timing of the technique, the relative power points, and the breath control. Now remember, Funakoshi Gichin had a very similar one. He had, in my translation anyway, the points of power stress, timing of the technique, but the third one was the expansion and contraction of the body. And that's very, very beautiful. And so if you think in terms of expanding by rounding the shoulder and then getting a scapular retraction, now what's happening is it's not just your arms. It's an explosive boom. So you have this forward, back, round, pull. And when you do that, you want to pull your shoulder blades together. So let's have a look at that briefly. This movement where I'm coming in the kata, I actually round my shoulders and then retract my shoulders. So I get that. So now instead of just using my arms, I'm using the expansion and contraction of the whole body. Okay, so let's just briefly go over the possibilities slowly. Is a double wrist grab. Why do people grab the wrists? Because they're scared and they don't know what you're doing. Okay, and we went through a number of things that we can do last week. But today, I just want to use the moves out of the kata. Okay, so I'm going to withdraw my hands. And look, when I do that, I come over his wrist and I push out. I break the grip. Now, of course, if I stay there, he's just going to withdraw the hand and do something, bang. Okay, so what I need to do is connect to something. In the kata, I'm driving and punching. So in the kata, I'll go here, there. Okay, so it's a similar thing. 1, 2, break the grip by pushing against the wrist. And then what I can do is even step back, but I keep that arm there as a distance gauge. So now if he tries to come in on me, it's not so easy. But I can even have he could throw a drink in my face or kick sand in my face. It doesn't matter, because I know that his face is right at the end of my arm, and proprioception will allow me to punch my own hand a lot easier than to punch his head where I think it is. So we're here, he grabs my wrist, boom. You can take them wide there with a headbutt straight away. And then I'm going to come up, push him to the side. The technique then steps forward. So instead of stepping forward, because maybe he's anchoring his weight, boom, there, and then finish the technique. Okay, once again, wrist grab, withdraw, up, push, step through like that. Again, withdraw, up, through, switching sides so you can see easier. I maintain distance with my stiff arm. A stiff arm is stronger than a bent arm. And then, bang, and I shoot out towards where my own fingertips are. The second possibility, okay, so he grabs my neck. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot my arms up. Just let go for a sec. I'm going to shoot my arms up and out. From the side, you see it's interesting. I'm not going up and straight out because you don't have the strength in the arms. What I do, it's a little bit like uchi uke gerambarai. Here's the technique. From the front, it just looks like I'm exchanging my arms. But from the side, it's different. The technique comes in and out, in, out, in, out. That's very, very important. Why? Because if I try to break this grip by going straight out, it won't work. But if I try to break the grip by going out and forward, it's completely different. You need to try this with a friend. He squeezes, it's nice and strong, and I try to push it to the side. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, nice and strong again. I push up and out, and it allows you to break the grip a lot easier. So that's the second application. He actually has hands on. I'm going to push here, and as I push forward and out, I step back, and once again, in that one, you're close enough for an elbow. Okay, grip comes, boom, 1, 2, with an elbow across the side of the head. You've got early and late situations. That's too late. If he's got these hands on, it's too late. But if he comes for the grip, I'm just going to knock it away straight away like that. Once again, palm heel or elbow across there. All right, if you have the wrist, you've also got an arm drag. So This application, this time from the same thing, is as it comes, I'm going to roll. I'm going to come here and roll. Here and roll. What am I doing there? Here, roll, and I'm getting that nice arm drag. The hands come up here. I roll my hand and finish with the move out of side up. Once again, one, roll, get the arm drag, pull in, cross face. If you're nice, you go under the neck and choke him. If you're not nice, you stiff arm tackle. 1, 2, 3, and crack right across his face with your forearm, with the kote here like that. That'll usually knock him out. If it doesn't, it could break the cheekbone. If it doesn't, it'll knock teeth out. If it doesn't, you get in perfect position for a cross-face crank. And the other thing too is this, why don't we stop short? Because you're trying to build some length and momentum. So I'm going to contract and expand my body. So if Mitch gets the, let's say he gets the, yeah, see that? Now he's trying to grab me, but I've beaten him to it, okay? If I stop there and just think that I've broken the grip, I haven't. Because this, yes, he's going to come in, or as soon as I release, his hands are back in again. Okay, so but what I do is, if he's fairly strong, I need to get distance and opening in the expansion. See, like that, headbutt, elbow, palm heel if you need. The last application is a slight variation, and it's very similar. Once again, the kata we didn't mention was Saienshin. It also starts with a two-handed situation like this. And this kata, as you can see, look, is very similar to that. The only difference is in Yansu, it steps through with a punch. In Saienshin, it steps through with a double block and a strike. As they come in to grab or somewhere, yeah, something like that, I take my hands up here and look, I have my thumb there and my fingers wrapped around his thumb. My elbows are in. So I come up here and then I push it out. So the elbows are in, I come up, look, my elbows are in. And then I squeeze little fingers and then, and like Mitch said, it's tough because you got nothing to tap with. And then bang. That's really, really quite debilitating. So we're here, again, he comes up, look. I grab the thumb with my little fingers and I squeeze. And I just did it here so you can see Mitch's face. Like that. That works extremely well. It also works from the double wrist grab when I come up this way. We did last week, yeah. That's a killer. That would actually damage your wrist, I'm fairly certain. Especially if you step to the side and hit it. Well, bang. And they'll go down. Okay, but here they're grabbing there. Boom, I'm coming up, squeezing the hands and pushing out like that. It really is, you know, you can let go one arm, come down and break the elbow. You can let go one arm, finish with an arm drag, keep both arms, knee kick, or elbow like that. Okay, so they're the major applications for that move from Yansu. Yansu. Here, this move here. We've gone 1, 2, withdraw, and out. Okay, don't stop short, push it out. The applications, once again to review, against a wrist lock, against a wrist grab, withdraw, and push out. Continue there, or withdraw, push out, arm drag. Against the throat, coming up, and I come up and keep moving out. I don't come up and keep it short. I come out there. This movement here. He comes in there like that. He's already in range. Headbutt means elbow range. Okay? Next one, he grabs here. I'm coming up here, getting inside the wrists, squeezing, taking down. One, arm drag, and there once again. They're the major applications from that move out of Yansu. And it's really worth drilling them and practicing, particularly the idea of expanding forward and out. Just like I was saying in uchi uke, gedanbare from the side, the hands are out, They come in. When I used to teach back in the old days, I used to say it's like you're ripping lapels off your shoulder. You rip the lapels off your shoulder. So from here, the hands come in and push out. That push out is very important because if I try to do it like a propeller of an airplane, there's no power whatsoever. The punch comes and I block it like this, there's nothing in it. Where the punch comes and I block it like that, now I have control over what's going on. So it's really important that you understand that idea of expansion, contraction of the body makes a difference. Comments?
I was just going to say that, thank you. And also, yeah, that's expansion and contraction. It's like the leverage principle. You're using more and more of your body against less and less of theirs, so to speak, because you're expanding,
Yes.
which filters through the technique.
Yes. So what is leverage? Leverage is using more and more of your body against less and less of his. So if I just use my arms, I have no leverage. If I connect to the expansion and contraction, now it's my body that's doing the work. It's like chin-ups.
So yeah, sometimes people just bend at the elbow mainly and sort of get the chin up like this, rather than engage scapular depression, get the lats to contract and pull the elbows down, and therefore get the chin above the bar.
Yeah. So in other words, a good chin-up leverages more and more of the body.
Yes.
Rather than just the biceps. There are three really good applications. Remember, bunkai means to compartmentalize. The verb, the Japanese verb, bunkai, so I should have brought my pad so I could have written it. Bunkai suru, the verb to break down, to compartmentalize. We use the word bunkai for application, but the Japanese word for application is actually oyo. So your oyo, when you want to apply application, oyo suru. Bunkai suru means to break it down, oyo suru means to apply it. But the whole idea of the bunkai is to break the techniques down and look at the possibilities from either a deductive or an inductive direction. Okay, guys, so I said it'd be a short one today. I hope you got something out of that. Please practice those. Remember, particularly the contraction of the scapula, to make sure that you expand the shoulders and then contract the shoulders for maximal power. The grips have to be strong here. When I'm grabbing Mitch's hands, I'm not grabbing them softly. You have to connect them to your own body as you go through. And once again, remember, when you come up and out, you never come out and go straight to the side. Nice short one today, but I appreciate you coming along. If you'd like to go and leave some messages, a note, that'd be great. Make sure that you hit subscribe, hit the little bell to make sure you get notified. And most of all, the thing that makes a difference is to share it around. But thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you, Shihan.